Kyle, you came back and from the injury during the week, and you came back and able to play. How did it feel, and how do you feel now?
It was good to be out there. We had an opportunity to play for a championship last week, and it was important for me to be out there with the guys. And I felt pretty good, so I was glad that I was able to be able to take the time to get those last couple of days and get better and to be out there with the guys.
What does adrenaline do for a guy at that juncture?
It can do a lot, but they weren't going to let me get to that point. I had to show them before that I could go out and play and be productive. So. I had to get to game day first, and then, once I got out there, obviously got running around and playing a live game. A lot could happen, and the adrenaline takes over.
How did bounce back up?
It feels good, yeah. So I feel a lot better than I did this time last week.
Kyle, it looks like we might have a cold weather story here as it moves into Green Bay. Tell me about that, playing outdoors and natural grass, and it could be a real cold night.
Yeah, it definitely can be chilly there, but I think back to my career and going to Lambeau. I think I've only gone there twice, and this will be my 8th trip there, and we haven't been in late December or early January, so we're very familiar with playing there at night in the cold. So it's not like we're coming from Florida or LA, so we'll be prepared for it.
Do you feel
is one of those top 2 seeds?
Well, it's extremely important. Our first goal was to win the NFC North and clinch our berth in the playoffs, and now it's about seeding.
Do you feel bad about taking a touchdown away from Searles?
Not at all.
Okay.
Were you surprised when you heard the news that Rodgers wasn't going to play? I know that was kind of the mentality in this team preparing for both quarterbacks. Were you surprised hearing that?
Not at all. I mean, he did everything he could to come back to help his team make a playoff push, and now that that's not an option, it wouldn't make sense to put a future Hall of Famer out there if he's not healthy.
Would you think with the rivalry they'll be just as amped up?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's Saturday night national TV. There's still a lot for them to play for. They may be out eliminated from the playoffs, but it's a rivalry. It's a division game. So they'll be amped up, and it'll be a good test for us.
Do you think the fans and the players will be even more amped up after everything that happened here with Barr knocking out Rodgers?
Yeah, I mean, I think every time I've gone there, they've been pretty amped up for the Vikings coming in town. So it's an NFC North rivalry game, and the energy will reflect that.
Kyle, it's just about the opposite though. Last year, you guys took a plane in there and ended up off the runway, sitting there eating sandwiches and having team meetings, and you knew you were playing for nothing the next day in terms of playoffs. And, you look a year later, and it's just about reversed itself.
Yeah, I hope that we don't end up off the runway again in Appleton, but this is a huge game for us. Like I said, we've secured our spot in the playoffs, and now it's about putting ourselves in the best situation, and that's getting those top 2 seeds.
Kyle, can you talk about how this team has come together and how the focus may be different than other years with this team? Because it seems like whether you're on the road or at home, the offense knows exactly what you're doing. There's not penalties, there's not missed assignments very often. Where did that come from?
I just think it's been a point of emphasis for us since last year, and you go back and look at the 3-8 finish that we had, and it was because we were doing things like that. We were killing ourselves on offense with penalties, not executing in critical situations. So we worked on that the entire offseason, and it was a big point of emphasis for us. And now you go back through the course of this year and look at the games that we're winning, close games in the fourth quarter. We're executing in those critical situations. We're not hurting ourselves with penalties, and that's a big part of our success.
You touched upon last year's game. Does that maybe put it in perspective? It was exactly almost a year ago, next to last game, Saturday game. You were all but out of the playoff race. And does that put in perspective, just can you look back last year, how you felt and how different things are?
Yeah, absolutely. And I know our mentality going into that game, even though we had nothing to play for, we did everything we could to win that game. And they'll do the same thing on Saturday night.
When you look at everything that faces down for this team and franchise this year, it's been the most
I swear to God. Do this.
Oh, I think the biggest thing that sticks out about Case this year is just the consistency at which he prepares, week in and week out. Whether it was early in the year when, he might not necessarily have been the starter, and then you look at Case when he was taking over, and just all the distractions that may be going on around him, just he continues to prepare as if he's the guy, and he goes out and plays that way.
How much do you think that consistency and also the toughness he's shown on the field has earned the respect of everyone in here?
I think everyone respected him even before he took the field. You know, you look at what he's done throughout his career. You know, he was a prolific passer at Houston, and you know, he's won plenty of football games before he came here. So there's a reason why we brought him here, and I think that respect was there. And you know, we knew the kind of player that we had.
Kyle, is there any disappointment from your end on not making the Pro Bowl?
Absolutely. So it goes. It's 2 years in a row for me, so get used to it.
Yeah. How about the Vikings? Probably should have had a lot more Pro Bowls before. Would you concur?
Yeah, absolutely, especially on the other side of the ball. I mean, those guys are the best defense in football, in my opinion. And to only have 3 guys represented, I don't think is correct.
I know that you're sort of very focused on getting one of those top 2 seeds. Do you have a sense for just how stacked kind of the NFC is this year?
Well, I mean, yeah, we just went to Carolina a couple weeks ago, and I believe they're the 6th seed right now. So we know how good they are. I think that's why it's so important for us to take care of business the next couple of weeks and secure ourselves that win in the first round. We can sit back and watch everybody else play. So it's huge for us to take care of business these next 2 weeks.
You got any thoughts, Kyle, on why you think you got snubbed in the Pro Bowl? I mean, obviously
Your guess is
you
as
had
good
a
as
more
mine.
efficient season even than last year.
Yeah, your guess is as good as mine.
On voting process.